All right, game on, I say. This is Great Works Alliance, and we are here in a team mission meeting for Great Works Alliance and all collaborators. The Coalition for Protection of Children and Families and the Parent Advocate Network are hosting these meetings, along with Great Works Alliance. In collaboration with Great Works Alliance, this is Great Works Alliance site. Currently, we have upgraded this site a little bit. Are you ready to play your game? Welcome, guest. Do you have what it takes to engage in your matrix? This is not your simple golden egg hunt. Ready to be challenged? Great Works Alliance, celebrating and empowering the people through interactive, engaging, and optimizing quests and missions. We are a nonprofit 501c3 seeking players to join our development and growth in tech community interfacing. Great Works Alliance, in collaboration with your community, is offering services to aid in your community's plan of action to create a database railway of all public and private sectors available to serve the public as community necessitated for optimized quality of life and thriving self-sustainability. What is Great Works Alliance? Great Works Alliance, celebrating and empowering the people through interactive, engaging, and optimizing question missions. Great Works refers to the incredible works of people within communities as the building blocks, bringing vivid life hallmarks in your area. We love your suggested projects and assignments, leaving yesterday's frustrations in the past, creating a better world for tomorrow. Let's tie our communities together. We are partners in quality of life. Our mission. The mission of Great Works Alliance is to provide public access to unbiased information for the purpose of engaging the public in active involvement in their community development and support of all its citizens in the spirit of quality of life through multifaceted perspectives. We seek to do this through an expansion of your community dynamic and desire to connect with others through fun gamification of reality, creating tasks with challenging dynamics and the desire and drive to stack on accomplishments and improve the quality of life for all. Great Works Alliance, in collaboration with your community, is offering services to aid in your personal growth and your community's plan of action to create a database railway of all public and private sectors available to serve the public as community necessitated for optimized quality of life and thriving self-sustainability. The idea, to gamify reality. Great Works Alliance shall begin the process of establishing fun gamification of reality to optimize yourself and expand your community's dynamic and desire to connect with others within the local area, starting small but expanding globally. Our business cards act as game cards like an adult form of magic, with real actions and connections made. Some cards are designed to be paired with others, providing a boost or mega effect. A select few will be considered golden tickets. So we have a number of teams that have been developed and people have signed up to participate as players in this framework that we have created. And what we have brought into play here is the Phoenix team model. Phoenix, in our terms, representing like rebirth, rejuvenation, burning away that which is not necessary and becoming stronger and more powerful within our own beings and within a positive improvement in quality of life for every individual on the planet. And then expanding out from there. And we have teams that are active and veteran service teams, the adult development and education team. We have our Phoenix advertising team, our Phoenix advocate coordination team, a Phoenix Advocate Training Team, Phoenix Art and Music Team, and so forth. And it is all based on the individual's answers that they shared in the skills and merit evaluation, which I will bring up shortly here. Hello, Don, and welcome. Thank you for joining us this evening. How are you doing?
I heard a little bit of it. Have your folks been talking a lot about the COVID-19 problem?
So the COVID-19 problem has become more of a social disconnect than anything else, I believe. We're not able to participate in city council meetings or any like government business within our cities and our towns. And, you know, it's a true detriment to society for people to not be able to be involved in the decision making within their cities and towns.
Yeah,
right.
You know, many people that we know have been very actively involved for many years in the family rights movement. And then this COVID-19 problem came along. And what I told, some of the people is that this is dominating the American people to the extent that we're going to have to win this war, this COVID-19 war, before we can get back to the regular war, the war against the American people by the family court CPS racket. And I think that's true. But then also at the same time, I said, hopefully by helping to win this virus war, it will provide a bridge to Trump to win the other. The solution to both of these wars is exactly the same. It lies with enforcing the law, U.S. Code Title 18, Section 242. Now, this guy, Fauci, was able to persuade the governors to impose all of these violations of people's rights upon the American population. And but so the governors have brought all of these draconian measures that Fauci wanted onto the people in their states, and violating their rights is a crime. It's a felony, under U.S. Code Title 18, Section 242.
Right.
So and that's enforcing that law, prosecuting these people who have violated their rights is the key to winning the COVID-19 war, but also is the key to winning the war against the American people by the family court CPS racket.
So would it be fair to say that it doesn't just include the family courts and CPS racket, but we could say on a broader spectrum that this is a violation of our rights in multiple areas of life, especially with these new stay-at-home orders brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, I call it?
Well, I see it as two separate wars. Because we weren't concerned about these stay-at-home wars and trying to get people to wear masks and stay 6 feet away from everybody until this germ hysteria came along, which is totally false. I mean, this guy Fauci has been proven wrong over and over and over against every one of his measures that he's got the governors to impose upon us. I wrote something about that the other day. The excuse, for the governors, if they're indicted, is to, we were told to do this, and so that's what we did. But that's I likened it unto a mafia boss who would get a mafia hitman to kill someone. does, even though the enforcer pulled a trigger, does that mean that the mafia boss is not guilty? No, they're both guilty. They're both guilty. And so the same thing, that is, the fact that Fauci got them to commit these crimes does not absolve them from being guilty of those crimes. They committed the crimes.
Right.
I mean, and so now the people, I think it's very encouraging. The people in New York have been, calling for, the indictment of Andrew Cuomo, which is cool. So you need one indictment to kind of get the ball rolling, because one will set precedent for the others. Now,
right.
We are, ma'am.
Don, can I stop you there, please?
Yes.
What I'd like to say is Great Works Alliance does not really focus on political issues. We focus on community issues. And it is very it's very important to the community to look at these political moves that have been made and how they have been violated in their constitutional rights. And that is like, part of that has to do with the lack of organization within a community, unless you're a part of the government or unless you're a part of a business that's still operating. You're not allowed to congregate, and so this seems to me a lot. It has to do with a coordination problem that we're having, because these governors and other officials that have violated our constitutional rights are still in power, but they're not going to be removed from power unless there are enough people that are coordinated in different areas. And that's why I was sharing the list of teams that we have developed, because that can help with those kind of issues. We're talking about improving quality of life for the individual and for the community within which each individual is operating. So like I said earlier, this is the skills and merit and initiative evaluation. This enables us to better direct people into the area, into the team that they can work with, utilizing their personal special skills and passions. So we're looking like for passions of people, and you clearly, Dawn, have a passion for prosecuting the crooked judges, prosecuting family court system, and that is, it's a great job that you're doing, and I'm hoping that you have some team support, and we're here to offer more team support. There's a team that we have, which is the Phoenix legal team. There's event coordination team. We're looking for more event coordinators to participate, and this is a lot of different areas in community that are becoming like they're being pushed aside or even eliminated with the COVID-19 crisis, pandemic. And that's anywhere from family court and CPS to homeless shelters to felons being released before their time to, there's just so many different issues. And if the community can somehow unite and work together without infringing on the mandates until they're lifted or until there's a way that we can get them lifted and start rallying again. But I know in Sacramento there was a protest last weekend and the weekend before that, because the stay-at-home order has just been extended and extended and extended and extended, despite the fact that the president himself has said that people should be going back to work.
Yes. Okay. Now you mentioned the president. Okay, the president. I think first, I kind of have the feeling that he was kind of sucked in by Fauci and actually believed what Fauci was saying. But then I think he woke up some weeks ago and realized this guy is telling people wrong. Everything he's saying is wrong. And so now William Barr is a key person in regard to getting these lawbreakers indicted and prosecuted. Like Cuomo, or like in my state, Roy Cooper, or in the governors in other states. Now, on April the 28th, Bill Barr sent a memo to all of the U.S. attorneys saying, be on the lookout for rights violations because this stuff is really getting out of hand. That's great. That's great. But being on the lookout doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do anything.
Right.
I think the next memo should be something like, if you see anything, tell me. All right. So then if they report to him, yeah, we've been seeing 4 or 5, these 4 or 5 rights violations, then he'd say, what are you doing about it? You're seeing these crimes. Are you going to bring indictments? So I think that Barr has become somewhat emboldened. And the way I see it, Donald J. Trump and William Barr can become American heroes. And that happens by indicting the people who have violated our rights in this war, this germ war, okay? Again, that starts the ball rolling. In other words, if they indict one governor for violating people's rights, why should they not indict another one? The obvious answer is they should.
Right.
They should indict all criminals, and when there's a probable cause, and these cases should be slam dunks. So if the Justice Department gets into the manner of indicting these people for violating people's rights, when this germ war, this COVID-19 war is over with, then it should be very easy for us to say, well, look, precedent's been set. Look at these judges, they're violating our rights too. If you can indict a governor, why shouldn't you invite some little podunk judges down here, saying the Constitution has no place in this courtroom? And we have so many slam dunk cases like that even a rookie prosecutor could win them, hands down. But what's going to happen, what I've been told, is that when that ever happens, when that great day ever occurs, and they start indicting those judges, they're going to plead guilty and try to get a light sentence. But then that's just for one of their crimes. If they've already committed 293 such crimes, why should they not be indicted for one of the others, and another, and another?
One of the others, right. Exactly.
So I'm hoping that victory in this COVID-19 war will give us a bridge to the executive branch, to the Justice Department, to win the other war.
Well, so in our state that we're in, the governor has extended the stay-at-home order until July 6th, which is 2 days after Independence Day. And like I was saying earlier, in Sacramento, they've been having protests because of this this order and mandate that has come from the governor. And there's been talk of arresting people who are protesting. Now, it is our constitutional right to protest that which we do not agree with, especially when it is violating our constitutional rights. And so there's so much of that going on in our country right now, and hopefully we can help through organization. Creating these teams is a part of that organization, because people have different talents and skills and passions, and it's hard to decide what to do first when everything seems chaotic, and when people have the ability to focus on one mission. And that's what we talk about when we're talking about our team players and our team missions. And the first mission that we request everyone take and take on here is to fill out this profile, skills, merit, and initiative evaluation in order to get involved in these teams, in order to be able to assist others who are creating tickets, request tickets, which we have available for everyone to make requests as guests on coalitionsforprotection.org/help desk. And you can create a ticket as a guest user and open your account. Now, when it asks for a name, you don't have to put your full name, but we would like to be able to get a hold of you to send you vital information pertaining to your request. These requests go through a process where we screen them and then create missions from those requests. Also, if you are a player, you have filled out the profile skills and merit form, you are a part of one or more of our teams. And these teams here, hold on, I gotta get the screen up. Quick at my fingers, okay. So, you know, we have different support teams, including the level 1 support team, which is the intake team. They take in the requests for tickets to be looked at and reviewed, and then they can assign it to a different team. And then we have players on each of these teams that participate in the mission assignments. You know, this can help with your crusade that you're pushing here, Don Ruffy, as well as many other areas of community development that need to be bolstered and upheld by community members.
Let me say something. Okay, Laura, I've been really encouraged with these demonstrations, these people protesting for some weeks now. I think in San Diego, down around the beach, it's just been beautiful to see it. Thousands of people, it looks like, you know, down there with their families and so these people in Michigan, those people took over the Capitol. The armed militia did.
Right.
And so it's I think it's very, very encouraging to see that. And in Texas, well, it was so beautiful. Now they did something in Texas that it should happen anywhere. I believe you mentioned that some people might get arrested. Okay. Yeah. Well, there was this lady who but she has a beauty salon, and the ladies working for her just told her, said, I haven't been eating because I want my children to eat. They didn't have enough food. And so she opened her shop.
Wow.
And so they wound up arresting her. Well, the Open Texas people converged on the jail. And the governor says, she should be let out of jail and let her go. And then the attorney general for Texas said she should be let go. Well, the judge, I can't remember his name right offhand. It's been a few weeks. He just, you know, he just ignored what the governor said, what the attorney general said. Well, then they took it to the Supreme Court. I think, filed a habeas corpus, writ of habeas corpus, and the Supreme Court said, let her go. And so then she got out. And see, so the people supported her. If those people had not supported her, she'd still be in jail.
Now, if only we can get the people to support each other in these communities that are failing, like the welfare office isn't open for people who need financial aid or medical aid. The hospitals are very limited in the number of people they allow in the hospital. We have community service centers here that are closed to people unless you have an appointment. You have to make an appointment. And I have taken it to the streets. And I don't know, for those of you who have been following the YouTube channel and the Project Wildflower that I started in February, I'm still doing videos for Project Wildflower, and I'm taking it to the streets with the flower pots that I have and talking to people within the community to find out how people are getting along, how they're able to make ends meet, because a lot of people are losing jobs, like you're saying, not able to feed themselves because their children are more important. But there should be food available for everybody. This should not be a difficulty of feeding the people, and making sure that everybody's needs are met. Recently, the homeless shelter started to put their people that they have in the homeless shelter in hotel rooms. And so now they're starting to set up, independent living spaces for homeless people in this county. But, you have to go through a process and you have to know where to go. There's nobody just going to the homeless people and saying, hey, we have this program for you. We want you to get into housing so that you don't get sick and spread the disease, the virus. But that's not happening. So there's a lot of disconnect there. Communities are important to the health and well-being of each individual in the community as well as the community as a whole. And if we are not able to go to city council and express our concerns and opinions, then the community employees are doing a great disservice. They are not serving the people, and they are put into places of power to serve the people. So, I mean, there's a lot of different areas that are at a crossroads right now.
Okay. Yeah, let me say something about that. Okay. All of these difficulties that are recent that you mentioned, having to put the homeless people into hotel rooms, okay? 6 months ago, that wasn't necessary. The reason it's necessary now, all of this stuff, all these, a million small businesses probably been put out of business permanently, and millions of people have become unemployed. It all stems from these illicit rights violations. Tony Fauci talking these governors into violating people's rights. If they hadn't had this Fauci shutdown, we wouldn't have had a Fauci bear market. We wouldn't have all this unemployment in the country. We wouldn't have the homeless people needing to go in hotels. We wouldn't have these problems. Before that, this economy was great. I mean, Donald Trump was giving himself a pat on the back every time he turned around because the economy was great, and it was true. It was a great economy.
Well,
I don't think it was all his.
I would like to say this, that we're in Silicon Valley, and before COVID-19, the homeless population had already doubled within a year. So I think that in some places there's more improvement in income equality than in others. I mean, Silicon Valley is one of the richest parts of the world, and there's homeless have doubled in the last year. So I kind of have to question what they're saying the numbers are. We request that everyone who joins these meetings please refrain from profanity. This is not the place for profanity. This is going to be watched by many people who have children in the household when they are actually watching these meetings. So we just ask that everybody keep it civil and not use swear words. Thank you. I want to welcome a few other players that are here and joining us. We're talking about the teams that have been developed to enable people to explore and utilize the resources, skills, passions, and initiatives that you all have in wanting to be helpful. Helping others is what these teams are made for. We have a system where people can make a request for a ticket. We have set up through OS Tickets, and I was sharing this with everyone a little bit ago as far as to open a new ticket. when you sign in and participate, and you're going to be able to have information on the requests that you have made. And there's a it's a trackable ticket, so it's not, what would I call it? It's not like you're stabbing in the dark when you make a request. There are people waiting to assist. Not only are there people waiting to assist, but through this program, we can track progress of every player and every ticket. That is extremely helpful in making sure that nothing falls through the cracks, because a lot of times people will start a project and then it gets too difficult for them, and instead of reaching out and asking for help, many people will drop whatever mission or plan they were trying to follow through with. And so this is where we can support people in their missions and provide them with structure and step-by-step guidelines sometimes, depending on what the action is, what the request is. This evening, how are you?
Oh, I said I'm doing good. How are you?
Excellent. We were just talking with Don Rufty. He's very keen on prosecuting judges who are violating constitutional rights here in the United States. And he was just talking about the COVID-19 crisis, panicdemic, and his belief that we need to be focusing on getting through this and even prosecuting those who have violated our constitutional rights on the COVID-19 crisis. Did I get that right, Don?
Yes, ma'am.
So what we're doing here is we're not going to talk about any more of this legal stuff. I believe that it is important that we have a walkthrough for anybody who's interested in getting involved in any of this action. Legally, we do not provide any legal advice through this channel, but we can provide legal resources and step-by-step process that's set up through the court system in order to file the proper paperwork. And that's a part of what we're doing with Great Works Alliance, is giving these step-by-step missions. That's why I talk about how when we take control of our environment, we become active players in our reality and improvement of our own quality of life, and therefore the quality of life of those around us. It starts out with self in every single thing that we do, and we want to make sure that we look at all of the factors in our character relationship tree. We're based categories and segments in the relationship, but we're talking about autonomy being and conjunctive, family-centered for community development is essential for local through national security. So it breaks down from self to family, teamship, community, multi-teamship. That's how we break it down, and those are like the circles of an onion chart. I don't know if you have seen an onion chart, but there's like a center piece in the center circle. We're saying the self is the center, and the family is next. And you can look at a model of the solar system as well as a different way of looking at it. So we have different sectors within a community Base community propulsion sectors are education and apprenticeship, art and music, churches and local nonprofits, news and media, private business sector, workforce and labor unions, public sector, local government, medical, health, wellness, and fitness. And the character strengths relationship tree, we have scientific identification classes through CSV identifies 6 classes of virtues. These are the core virtues comprising of 28 measurable character strengths. So the organization of the 6 virtues and 28 strengths are as follows. These are all important to every individual in self-development and health and well-being, which expands out from self to family to teams to society. So we have wisdom and knowledge, which is creativity, curiosity, open-mindedness, love of learning, perspective, innovation. Our second class is the courage, bravery, persistence, integrity, vitality, zest, be a warrior, humanity, love, kindness, and social intelligence. Justice, well, there's citizenship, fairness, and leadership. Temperance, forgiveness, and mercy, humility, prudence, and self-control. And transcendence, which is the appreciation of beauty and excellence, gratitude, hope, humor, and spirituality. All of these are part of who each individual is and what they rank in each of those categories is going to show where their strengths are. And when you know your own strengths, you are more capable of taking positive actions for yourself, your family, and then expanding outwards. This includes, legal issues, it includes health issues and family issues and community and society issues. All of this enables you to become more organized and focused in what you're able to do as an individual. And what we see a lot of today is people feeling lost. And we want to offer some tools for those people who find themselves again. Get back on steady ground and start taking actions that are going to improve everybody's lives. And that includes dealing with the crooked judges, dealing with crooked politicians and everything. But it starts with the self. And we see a lot of people getting sick because they don't start and work on focusing and helping themselves first. I can't help you if I don't help myself first. And so that is what we're doing here with Great Works Alliance and our collaborative efforts. Everybody can become a warrior. Everybody can become a hero in their own right. Everybody is a hero in their own right when they take actions to improve their own quality of life, when they take actions to help others, to improve others' quality of life, whether it is just a tiny action like bringing a bag of groceries to the homeless people on the street, or getting involved in volunteer work. And we are seeking volunteers right now in many different areas. We are specifically looking for artists, graphic designers, and web developers. And since this actually is going to be shutting off shortly because we are on a free Zoom chat here, please participate and get involved. Donate if you can, if you want to. Our site, Coalition for Protection, that's the number 4, protection .org, is one way you can visit us. And then also we have Great Works Alliance site. And Great Works Alliance is great-works-alliance.my-free.website. And get involved. Start participating in the missions. We have missions published all the time, and we want to have your voice, your participation matters. Become a player today and join us. And for those of you who wish to meet up, again, we'll reopen this room in 5 minutes and continue discussing the great works that we all can participate in and accomplish in helping make our communities better. Let's not let tyranny tear down our communities that mean so much to everyone. Hope you have a good evening. Bye.
Bye.